meditation the path to your best you? I'm a student of Dr. Deepak Chopra and Dr. Wayne Dyer. Chopra is a medical doctor who combines the wisdom of the East with the science of the West. I can say the same thing about Wayne Dyer. He's a psychologist, and again he combines the wisdom of the East with the science of the West. And I think we get a very good mix from this. At the same time, being an Afrocentric person, I look at all of the ideas that I'm confronted with in terms of universal principles. What can we extract? What truths are there that we can make use of? One thing we know for sure is that mind controls body. Thoughts are the language of the mind. Feelings are the language of the body. So this conversation is always going on, and with consciousness we're able to make sense of these things. Now, many people think that the main purpose of meditation is for stress reduction, how we can tune out and get away from it all. But on the contrary, that's only partially true, because meditation is not getting away from it all, it's getting in touch with the totality of who you are, getting to the essence of what you are about. And more specifically, we're talking about getting to a space of peace. And all wisdom tradition talk about the peace that passeth all understandings. So you are centered, well centered. We have thoughts coming to us at all time and space from different angles. But the question is that what can you find that space between the thoughts? Constant flow of thoughts in your mind. But the wisdom that we seek is found in that space between thoughts. How can we expand that space? How can we make more use of it? How can we make it more accessible and available for brand new insights? We know that in silence and meditation, that's where wisdom finds you. There's a wonderful poem by the poet Rumi, and he says, "I've been a seeker and I still am, but I stopped. I stopped asking the books and the stars. I started listening to the teachings of my soul." Again, the essence of wisdom is within, once we make ourselves accessible. Now, according to wisdom traditions, that space between thoughts, that's the ultimate window. It's the corridor. It's the vortex to the infinite mind. The mystery that some people call the Spirit of God. We use the concept of God. It's a construct, but it ultimately connects with the universe. All that is perfect, all that is good, all that is divine, the ultimate source of everything. Different cultures use different names to articulate, but I'm more comfortable with the universe. Other people use various words, but whatever is comfortable for you. Now, you don't have to use any of the terms that we use, as long as you know what you're speaking about. You know how this affects you. Now, where do you find it? And what do you find in that space between thoughts? It's called the field of infinite possibilities. Pure potential. All things come from that space. Everything here is connected to everything else. The space of infinite creativity, infinite imagination. Just picture that. Whatever can be imagined, whatever can be thought of, that's where it comes from. It's a place where there's something called the observer effect. You are not just the observed, you are doing the observing. And it's independent of your own existence. In meditation, we get into the space so we can find infinite possibilities, infinite correlation, infinite creativity, infinite imagination, infinite powers of interaction. So it's a powerful space to get into. This is ultimately what meditation is about, to get you into that space. One of the most powerful tools associated with meditation is something we have come to know as the law of attraction. There's a science behind the law of attraction, believe it or not. We attract into our lives anything that we give our attention to, regardless whether it's positive or negative. So there are many people who inadvertently bring hardship, pain and sorrow into their life because that's all they're giving their attention to. Now, there's a psychological view that explains how this happens. We can best explain this process of the law of attraction that there's a information filtering system, physical information filtering system located in your brain. It's called the reticular activating system, RAS for short. What it does, anything that you deem as important, it either brings it to you or you to it, out of nowhere. Two simple examples. Look, the same way a mother with a young baby in another room crying. No one else in the room hears the baby, she does. Because her RAS brings that signal right to her because it's important. A person who is into cars, knowledgeable about cars, really love cars and so on, in a room and a car passes, a particular type of car passes, particular type of muffler. No one else notices that, but that person does. Because that information available in the universe is brought to them. Now, can you imagine how many other things you can bring to you? You say you want these things. You say you desire these things. Yes, the reticular activating system, it does that. It filters all of these things.